Welcome everyone to the HyperNest Podcast. So during this chat, during this conversation, I have the incredible pleasure and honor to talk with the best, the most incredible innovators in the space. Today, it is my incredible pleasure to have here Alex, CEO of Aurora Labs, and one of the craziest OG in the space. It has been here probably from 2015, but he will tell us a little bit more about it. And our focus for today is talking about the agentic economy, that it's pretty much a super hyped topic. And we're going to go through what is an agent, what is the tech stack behind it, and why we are going full power, or maybe not, in that direction. But before we get into the details, I would like to have Alex to provide an intro about himself and how he got into Aurora.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me here. Always it's a pleasure to talk with you. I'm Alex Shevchenko, and the CEO for Aurora Labs and also Diffuse Labs. And I'm in crypto indeed from 2015. Has always been building infrastructure. I'm the ecosystem that I'm working at is the Near ecosystem, and I'm here already for more than 5 years, pushing things forward, deploying and delivering many different things, including Rainbow Bridge, Aurora, which is the EVM solution on top of Near, and most recently I'm also responsible for the Near Intents. This is the technology behind the intent transactions that are working cross-chain. So happy to build all of these different primitives and push these things forward.
Well, thanks for that. So I think that there was quite a great contribution, right, from Near and Aurora in terms of really tech improvement and tech evolution, right, in the Web3 space. But before we get into the details of it, I would like to ask you about, this agent economy, right? How did we get here, and why did we get here now, in your opinion?
So when people talk about agentic economy, they are thinking about the following things. We see more and more of the agents appearing in the world, right? At the moment when AI became pretty capable, people started to put it in their workflows. They're able to create simple personal assistants, simple support chatbots, and in some cases, even very sophisticated AI researchers that are looking into the data sets and figuring out whether they are good data sets or not. I have many friends who are working in longevity, for example, and they are analyzing different molecules and different data sets to test these molecules against. And all of this is done by the AI researchers. So that's a pretty cool thing. And as we are getting more and more AI agents out there, it is pretty natural for them to interact with each other. Even if you're a person who is trying to build your own AI agents, like in an NA10, the pretty typical thing that you have is that this agent usually wants to call each other and do something together. Because some agents are specializing into management of your Gmail account, and other agents are specializing in the connection with Notion, or maybe just making the communication in your style, for example. Mm-hmm. And if these agents are within a single company or within a single use case, then usually they don't need to have any economical relations in between them. But if these agents are actually acting on behalf of different providers, then, well, at least somebody needs to pay for the invocation of this agent, and I'm not even talking about anything on top of it. Which brings us very straightforwardly to the concept of the AI agentic economy, where the agents are able to communicate with each other, interact with each other, but also they need to be able to pay to each other. And this is the layer that needs to be built Sam Altman is talking about this, that they're going to build this layer. But also besides that, it's just a pretty natural thing to do. And as AI agents are growing bigger and bigger, then this question is becoming closer and closer to us. And from my point of view, this is one of the most interesting use cases for the blockchain to tackle.
Okay, you provide already a fantastic, definition and overview. So, if agents become more specialized, they will collaboration, and will probably bring exchange of resources that will bring us to the agentic economy. So essentially, these economic layer on top of them. But how do we move from, let's say, pure AI to an agent? Do we need to have, let's say, a little bit of autonomy? So how do we move from this concept to this concept, right? Because everyone is talking about agents, but what is an agent?
Yeah. So there can be different points of view into this things. The use cases that I was referring to previously, these agents, they're literally like support things. This is something, these agentic kind of workflows are very close to the concept of automation, right? Like you want to automate things and then it will be a little bit easier. Now, however, the agents itself, they are opening up more opportunities, and we can think about indeed fully autonomous agents, the agents that are making decisions on their own. And a good example here can be like this a very simple use case that Anthropic tried to pursue. So a couple of months ago, they said to their model that, hey, you're now running a vending machine, and then figure it out. You're now a separate autonomous business, and let's see whether you will be able to get some profits out of it. The experiment failed. Claude was not able to to deliver it, and it actually was unprofitable in the end. But this tendency of creating these autonomous businesses or autonomous entities with their own goals, with their own functions that they are willing to maximize, this tendency is getting into motion. And I'm pretty sure that many of the existing businesses that are not very interesting, they can be becoming automated. Management of vending machines, it's kind of pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
So obviously this thing, it includes hiring at the moment a human who is going to come, who is going to put goods in, get the money out, all of the stuff. But besides that, the thinking of what should be the goods that are sold there, where to place it, negotiations with the landlords, all of this can be automated, and this is a pretty straightforward thing. Besides that, more of the businesses, management of the parking spots, like it's very easy, super simple business. And if we would be able to free up humans' resources from it, then these humans, and then it is going to be automated, then these humans can be doing something else and can be moving the humanity forward. So I do believe that more and more automation is going to happen through the AI agent and also through the autonomous AI agents, and that's a pretty interesting concept when we're going to have fully autonomous businesses that are just out there. I think we got a glance of it previously when we saw the concept of the autonomous market maker, AMMs, when you're able to trade with a smart contract with some kind of autonomous entity, and then everything happens. But then it was not like that. It was just some kind of like virtual coins, all the stuff. But now we are pretty close to the point when we're actually going to see autonomous businesses out there.
And there's an exciting future that, at least in my opinion, where we are about to experience. And I would like to ask you what is the role of blockchain, right? Because agents and blockchain, I think they are converging, but I think it's very important to understand why blockchain.
Yeah, absolutely. So my personal point of view on this is the following. Agentic economy is something that needs to happen, and the question is what is going to be the technology and how this is going to be brought to life. We have two options, literally. First option is the traditional financial rails, and another one is the blockchain with all of the existing blockchain tech that is out there. The traditional financial rails, they are actually not very well suited for agents, just because, especially for autonomous agents, it's just because if the agent is autonomous, like it cannot pass the KYC, it can't pass the KYB, it cannot come somewhere and sign some kind of documents. So opening a bank account for an autonomous agent is probably not something that is going to happen right here, right now. However, an autonomous agent having a private key and this private key controlling his Ethereum or Bitcoin wallet is something that is very simple, straightforward, possible right here, right now. And because of this, blockchain has a head start here. I'm putting aside the question about the legal framework under which these autonomous entities are going to function, but the value transfer use case, which is one of the core use cases for the crypto, and that has been in development for a very, very long time, it can be delivered to the AI agents. That's why, from my point of view, in order for us to accelerate the innovation around AI and agentic AI, there is a very straightforward path of blockchain filling in this layer of technology that would allow for the value transfer use case. I do believe it's not only me who is thinking like that, and that's the reason why OpenAI is partnering with Stripe, which is building their own blockchain. Mm-hmm. And there are many also, stablecoin issuers who are launching their own blockchains. The regulators in the US who are pushing forward the regulation around stablecoins and how this should, and also Clarity Act and some other things. So I think it's just like a pretty straightforward direction, and then the whole world from different angles are trying to move into making sure that crypto and blockchain technologies are more recognized and easier to work with. And already from the AI companies, we see that there is this path towards, actually there are two things that I see from them. First one is that moving in the direction of the AI, kind of enabling the AI economy. And the second one is owning the distribution, right? So X, like Elon Musk bought Twitter not because of like he wanted, all of this craziness, but it's just because now he has his own distribution. And Zuckerberg is building his team because he has his own distribution, and Google has their own distribution, and OpenAI has built their own distribution. They have tremendous success in this, and we're going to see hardware devices from them clearly, and more of the things to come. So yeah, distribution is the key because, already multiple years ago, some smart people told that attention is all you need, and the attention from humans is definitely what the AI companies need. So yeah, blockchain can be a very good candidate to resolve the value transfer use case that is extremely needed for the AI economy. It has a head start here, and I would be willing to have this version of the future instead of old money, centralized authorities and governments controlling the economy of the future.
Well, absolutely aligned with you about this. That's basically one of the reasons HyperNest exists, to push more toward a healthy evolution and a little bit more far away. Trust me, bro. I'm a bank, trust me that. But apart from my liberal stand, let's go a little bit deeper here. So I think that Near and Aurora are really creating the building block of this agentic economy, and there are quite a bit of incredible innovations that you are building, that you are cooking. Something is done, maybe something is still in the process. Maybe you can walk us through, those innovations, how they all go together to revolutionize the agentic economy.
Okay, so let's start on the AI side here.
Yes.
So Near is working in two pretty core directions around the AI only stuff. First one is called is about privacy, and the second one is about the decentralization of machine learning. Altogether, these two initiatives have the name of DCML, Decentralized Confidential Machine Learning. And the developments here are the following. On the confidential side, the hardware, existing hardware, supports an ability to encrypt models and their weights, and also the data that they're operating on top of. This is a pretty powerful thing. And the reason why this is powerful is because then you can the operator of the hardware may be not inside of your own org if you're an AI company that is developing these models. So you can literally outsource or put in a cloud your software and be 100% sure that your IP that is in the weights of the model is not going to be stolen. So Near has been developing the solution around it. The solution includes the economical factors that are there, and it is going to be released very, very soon in collaboration with the biggest AI companies of the world. And this is the confidential piece. And the use case here is very, very simple. Like, imagine that you're Entropic. You have your own computational power, and you need to split this computational power into two different use cases. One is training new models in order to deliver better and better models and compete with other competitors. And the second part is that you need to provide the inference to existing use cases. So like people still right here, right now need to be able to query Claude and get the result. So you always need to balance these two things out. And the training at the moment is kind of fully done in a centralized manner because it is more efficient. But with the confidential machine learning, with this thing, Entropic will be able to deliver their models to third parties who are going to provide literally inference for them, while still being protected from the standpoint that these third parties would not be able to get inside of the models and figure this thing out. So I think this is an extremely great use case that is also going to contribute into the acceleration of the AI development here. So this is one of the technologies that Near developed, and it is going to be released very, very soon. Mm-hmm. The second part is the decentralized machine learning, right? And here we're talking about the pieces around how to train models. At the moment, the way how the training is done is that it's all done on the big clusters, GPU clusters, mm-hmm. And you need to have the collocation of the machines in order to make it efficient. However, Near, together with also other collaborators, is moving forward the concept of decentralized machine learning, where you actually can use different ways how you're training the models, so that these things like this training can be executed on a distributed system. And the thinking behind it is that if we would be able to create an efficient training mechanism that is decentralized, it would mean that we will be able to create a training facility that is much bigger than OpenAI or Anthropic alone, because you can join the forces of many different existing GPU providers, and then they have altogether much more computational power. Moreover, this resource will become available for many people outside, so that if you want to create your own AI company, now you no longer need to build your own data center. You can just go somewhere there and just order the training, right? So literally putting training into cloud. This is possible. It is more on the earlier stage of research at the moment, but I'm pretty from many very smart people, much smarter than myself. I've heard their point of view into this stuff, that this is something that is coming to life and becoming more and more interesting. This is AI, and I'm sorry for a longer answer here, but I would like to make sure that everybody are getting the clear picture of what Near's AI direction is and why we are going there. So this is one thing, right? This is the purely focused on AI stuff, right? It uses the blockchain technologies clearly, because in many points you have heard that you need to have some kind of economy, decentralization, blah blah blah, all of the stuff. But there is a second part, and the second part is everything around the economy use case, right? And this is where I am contributing into this the kind of Near's direction, and it is all around chain abstraction, intent-based architectures, and the value transfer use cases. It is pretty clear that if we're gonna take a look at the modern payment mechanisms, then they are extremely advanced. If I'm going into, last week I was in Dubai, and I have my Euro card, and when I'm paying there, somehow everything works. There is this internal conversion of Euro into AED, and it just works. We got used to this. There is the infrastructure behind it that is there, and if you would think of it, probably within the autonomous AI economy, different agents would like to get different payment or different currencies in the payment, and then somehow all of this thing need to work, especially taking into account that maybe these currencies is something new, or maybe it's something that is used right now, but there are lots of other money that exists in other currencies, right? And you just need to build up all of these rails beneath it, where you need to figure out how the payment is done, what is the escrow mechanism, how the acquirers are working, how to resolve the disputes, how to perform the changes, the swaps, or the currency exchange, right? And this is what we are calling the near intents protocol. We would like to make this layer very simple and straightforward, and also accessible by the AI agents and as well as humans. So we would like to wrap all of the existing financial actions into simple intents, like I would like to exchange my Bitcoin into Solana, or I would like to get a position, a yield-bearing position in the stable coin on Aave on Ethereum, or I would like to pay to this IBAN account using my Near tokens. And this is all of the things that we are working on, and is currently Near Intents is one of the biggest cross-chain protocols that is enabling cross-chain swaps. But we are in the process of building much more of the tools that are going to power all of these different intents. On top of Near Intents, we have several products that are already built. One of them is Calyx. This is a cross-chain launchpad, so that founders are able to launch their tokens on any of the Near Intent supported blockchains. however, allow for people from all of the different ecosystems to participate in the token sales right away. And this is a pretty clear and straightforward use case, and there are more and more projects that are being built on top of this financial backbone, near intents. So I'm happy that I'm able to both build this financial backbone as well as also participate in the development of the products on top of it, which is great. These are different. These are kind of the things that Near is taken care of, right? There is like a clear AI direction where Near is able to contribute into some specific angles of the AI that is going to make it much more democratic, as well as better for the world and also accelerate the development of AI, and the economical part of it, where we need to have the product that is the infrastructure product that is going to enable this autonomous AI economy, and this is what Near intends it.
Okay, so try to summarize this. So on one side, Near is working on the privacy layer, potentially, of AI. That's basically the first use case that you were describing. So in essence, you can keep your model private oriented, but you can still basically get inference out of it without revealing your secret sauce, for example, in a very, very, very simple way.
Yeah.
Simple way, at least I'm trying to explain it in a very, very simple way. So the second part is more distributed learning. So everyone potentially with a GPU can contribute some GPU magic power and help the model to train. Because as we have seen, they build kind of an enormous cluster of GPU, OpenAI or also XAI. So everyone need for now, this centralized system. But ideally, we could have a distributed system for training.
Correct. And the fact is that there are much more compute power outside of these clusters than in these clusters. So if there will be a way for OpenAI, well, maybe not for OpenAI, but like for Anthropic, Mistral, and kind of a little bit smaller companies which are doing incredible innovation, if they will be able to get this additional power that is out there without revealing their secrets and making sure that they are not going to be disrupted by bad actors who are going to just steal all of the model weights, definitely they would be going all in for this.
Of course, renting instead of buying, it might be kind of an incredible innovation to spearheading, the development. And I think the last vertical you were mentioning was like more an intent-based infrastructure, right? So essentially, I want to swap Ethereum for Near, and you are taking care of all the hoops in the middle. That there might be a lot of hoops potentially, right? And
important thing to understand here is that this infrastructure is not only around crypto, right? It's also around, this is just the financial rails. Like let everybody think about this as financial layers, and independently of whatever the relationship in between the agents maybe one agent is the support agent of Revolut, and they are taking care of the cards operations, and another agent is like the personal assistant of a particular person, and they are talking with each other around how to resolve some of the issues, but then in such a case maybe there is no payment. But if I'm talking with Etsy agent and I'm trying to buy some goods to give an exclusive present for my dad for his birthday, well, then there will be a financial transaction, and then these agents need to figure out how to do this transfer. So if you would think of it, every single action, or the majority of the actions in our life, they are connected with the payment. The payment is somewhere there, somewhere inside, and this is something that we're trying to resolve there.
Yeah, completely with you. Without consider also the more machine, apart from, an AI inside a machine, right? But this is something that probably is going to come pretty soon too, right? Or probably is already here. And I think we have been looking at all the panorama of AI and the financial economy for near and Aurora. And there is another part, or it's part, let's say, there is something that we didn't touch it into the greater detail, is more like agentic smart contract, or the agent running inside the TE or chain signature. I think there are a lot of these elements, working together in order to build probably the future of this infrastructure. Do you want to give us a little bit more information around this?
Yeah, so it seems like, Alyssa, you're reading my Twitter.
Homework, Alex.
Yeah. I was putting out some time ago a piece around agentic smart contracts. And my point of view is the following. I think that the concept of runtime for blockchains is kind of it just lives through its time, but we have an opportunity for it to get removed and get changed into something that is a little bit more efficient, or like majorly more efficient. And this is what I call like agentic smart contracts. And the idea behind it is pretty simple. If we have these autonomous AI agents that are able to keep their secrets, then maybe we can put the logic of the smart contracts inside of these autonomous AI agents. That's why it is called agentic smart contract. That's kind of it. And why this thing is cool is that normally the way how you're building these agents is that they are not directly connected with the blockchain. They can be interacting with external services. They are able to have floating points inside of them. They are able to have an API to call it. They are able to be triggered by the webhooks, cron jobs and different things. Lots of missing pieces inside of the blockchains. The thing that blockchain must provide to these agentic smart contracts is literally data availability. We need to ensure that they will be available all the time, even if the operator is gonna be nuked, right? And so data availability is again the concept that has been out there for a very long time. And we can use blockchain for this, but it's just going to be pretty simple storing of the assets, storing of the data, right, in a decentralized manner. So that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But besides that, as we know, for these agents, we need to have the economy layer, right? So we need to have tokens, we need to have the value transfer use case, probably a little bit more than that, like escrow functionality, and it's better to keep it inside of the blockchain directly.
Yep.
Maybe just a little bit more. But besides this data availability and the value transfer use case and things that are going to power this value transfer use case, we actually don't need anything from the blockchain itself. And from that standpoint, if all of these pieces are hard-coded in the blockchain, then we can remove complicated virtual machines and the concept of runtime from the blockchain. And just leave it like that. And allow to launch these autonomous agents or these agentic smart contracts, which is literally the same thing, and let them work with the blockchain as a value transfer medium. And I think that this can give more innovations, and this will potentially can unleash lots of interesting and cool things. Well, first of all, blockchains will become simpler, and because of this simplicity, they will become much more scalable. The autonomous smart contracts, these agentic smart contracts, will be able to interact with multiple blockchains at the same time. So they can be like a cross-chain smart contracts. Because of this idea of these autonomous things working in trusted execution environments, or conserving their privacy in some other manner, they can store secrets, and the validation of their actions may be happening just through the authorization of it. So like literally this key can sign the message that I have executed this action, it is correct. And since the authorization of an action is going to be like that, then within this action it means that you can call APIs, you can do floating point execution, right, and lots of other things. You also do not need to rerun this computation on other machines for this stuff. So that's a pretty interesting concept that is getting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was joining blockchain, just to conclude a little bit this section, when I was joining blockchain, I was extremely bullish on the different use cases around the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming from Ukraine, and there are quite a lot of distrust in the government, in different institutions in general, and people in Ukraine are always willing to get more truth. And that's why I thought that, how great would be an innovation of the elections fully happening on the blockchain, or the government centralized bank digital currencies on the blockchain, while they were not called like that in 15. That all will be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, I must admit that there might be a case where the blockchain is just the financial backbone for all of these different use cases, while they don't need to have these particular use cases inside of the blockchains. They can be autonomous AI agents that are working outside and which are just interacting with this financial backbone.
Okay, so I think you briefly touched on the possibility of running certain logic in a trust execution environment, so TE, that interact with potentially a persistent layer, the Agentic smart contract, right? And it will do these, for example, also using your cross-chain technology called probably chain signature. I mean, or maybe one part of your cross-chain technology. So if we want to provide to our audience, like an example, an example of an agentic, just an agent operating on chain in this case to simplify the situation, that want to move certain yield from one vault to another vault, for example. So, for example, the yield is better in in Euler, and my money are in Morpho. So how would it work, step by step? I think this would be very useful to visualize the whole journey.
Yeah. So you can easily think of this the following way. You can think of the agent. Imagine that there is a piece of code that is doing periodic checks of the yield opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some reasoning model that is connected with it, on whether it is better or not. There is some kind of risk assumptions, risk scoring mechanisms. It can be AI powered, or it may be just like heuristics, right? Mm-hmm. So you take this code, you put it inside of the trusted execution environment, mm-hmm. and inside of it, this code has a key. Inside of the trusted execution environment, you're able to create fully internal keys that nobody sees. And now this key can control accounts on different chains. Like, you need to have a couple of keys because the cryptography is different on different chains. You have ECDSA, EDDSA, but that's okay. You can think of it as this is just a secret, and then this agentic logic is just operating this in different accounts. And what it can do is actually the user can get these addresses where the user is able to deposit money inside of this agent, or kind of transfer the ownership of the user's money into the agent. And then the agent also can query the RPCs of the respective blockchains in order to understand that the particular user has been depositing money in his hands. So the user deposits money, or the first thing, the user asks the agent, hey, give me the deposit address. The agent responds using his own private key and some kind of derivation mechanism out of it. User deposits money, pokes the agent, hey, I've just deposited. The agent verifies the deposit through the RPC, and then the agent now has an ability to control these assets. And then it makes decisions based on the algorithm and or potentially reasoning models on where to deposit this money. And the agent uses his own private key in order to move assets in between Morpho and Erder and Gauntlet vaults or whatever it is there. So it does this, and at some point in time, potentially, for example, user comes in and says, hey, look, I want to get my money back. The user signs the request with his own private key that he has been using for deposits. And then the agent says, okay, cool, yeah, I see that there is this liquidity provider who is coming here, and I'm going to release to him his assets and his earned yield. And then this is done again with the agent's key directly on the chain. Literally all of this use case is something that we have seen in the ordinary space with, for example, ordinary financial Web2 space with, for example, hedge funds. Like you have your money, you're giving your money to a hedge fund, and then the hedge fund is doing something. The difference is that hedge funds are people. And what we have been talking about, that we're going to just change it, and it is going to be an AI agent. AI is not very good at the moment with the math itself, doing the proper calculations. But I think that soon it is going to be changed, and I would predict that the era of the hedge funds, or just like algorithmic hedge funds, is going to be over pretty soon.
Yeah, I see. And so we've been discussing about possible trusted execution environment, so TEE, for certain type of also computation heavy logic, for example, just because it's kind of simpler. But what is the, in your opinion, the connection or disconnection between this type of technology and zero knowledge proof? Because both somehow can be used in certain occasion for hiding certain type of information and demonstrating that certain things have been done, right?
Yeah, both of the approaches can be used for privacy aspects clearly, and I do not think that we need to use one over the other. They have their own pros and cons. People who are pro ZK against TEs are often claiming that there are lots of attacks on TEs, and then you still have this trust towards the provider of the hardware.
Yeah.
The people who are pro TE are saying to them that you actually also have the trust in the hardware because it's on the same CPUs. Your algorithms are working, right? So who knows what is there, whether there was like a supply chain attack before or not. So this thing is kind of a little bit less, kind of not that important. So there are tons of questions, but I don't think that specifically like you need to choose one over the other. Clearly, what we know that the current state of the technology is that TEs are much more ready for production, though there are from time to time some attacks on it. And ZK is not quite there in terms of the proven random executions. There are some advanced ZKs that are working with some particular very simple things, like for example in Zcash, if we're talking about just transfers of an asset in between different addresses. Well, these things can be proven very efficiently right at the moment, but still, it takes some time to generate Zcash's blocks and all of the proofs and stuff like that. So this removes the interactivity there. However, Ethereum is working pretty tirelessly towards the ZK. There are lots of very interesting projects and lots of innovations there. Yeah. Anyway, you don't need to choose one over the other. The most important thing that we need for the autonomous agents is like a set of features. First one is that it needs to be encrypted and work with encrypted data on itself. This is possible with ZK. This is pretty straightforward with TE. And then another thing is that this agent needs to keep his own secret. And then we need to make sure that there are no other parties who are going to have this secret revealed. And again, this can be achieved, and not only with ZK and TEs, but also with fully homomorphic encryption and some other ways. So you just need to, technologically wise, we need to keep our eyes open and see what approach is closer to production. But conceptually wise, I think it's pretty straightforward that we're moving into this autonomous agentic world, and we need to figure out how the economy is going to work for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, probably from my understanding, the TE is just more production ready. It's just somehow easier and less costly to run essentially computation in it and having essentially privacy. But as we have seen on the zero knowledge proof area, it was very expensive, right? And it was very time consuming. And I think probably also on the area of fully homomorphic encryption, but I think in both these verticals, we have seen in the last period incredible improvements. Things are getting faster, they're getting cheaper as any new technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So Near and Aurora are building all these incredible infrastructure for the agentic economy. How do you see, competition or other, let's say, entity that have decided potentially to go in another direction, but still produce an interesting innovation for the area of agentic economy?
So, just to rephrase it, it's kind of like what people can build, right?
Yeah, I would like to ask you: do you see any specific and interesting competitors for the type of technology related to building agents, connecting agents to blockchain?
Yeah. So on the AI side, the development and really innovation on the AI side, like the core AI, I cannot say that I see any competitors. It's just like many people are in blockchain space. It's only decentralized entities, right? So
yeah,
many people in the blockchain space are looking at the blockchain and AI specifically on the commerce layer, and I do not think that there is a need to specifically build, for example, like frameworks for AI agents. Everybody can just use an A10, put it in the trusted execution environment, and that's it, or whatever. Once it is going to be a proper agent kit from OpenAI, if there will be a self-hosted version, then you can do absolutely the same thing. But up until then, just use an A10, put everything in TE, here you go. Here's your autonomous agents. There is no need to have like a specific thing. And then you just call the API of the particular blockchain and have a key inside of your agent. Very simple and straightforward. No need to build specific blockchain agent kits or agent SDKs. So yeah. This is a part around the AI. On the side of the intent products, there are lots of teams who are going in this direction, right? There is a reason why OpenAI is partnering with Stripe, and the Stripe is building their own stablecoin and their own blockchain, right? Like these things are not just random, right?
Yeah.
There is a very particular and straightforward thing here, and yes, there are lots of centralized, and there is a reason why Robinhood is coming to the blockchain, kind of the tokenization of the stocks, all of the stocks, like it's just there. The thing that all of these parties have is the very deep roots with the traditional finance right away. But this is also what hinders their innovation. And people who are blockchain native, they are able to move and deliver tech much faster because we have been doing this already for years. And everybody knows that the blockchain is one of the high-paced verticals out there, even before AI became like that. And now people who are in AI also they're gonna, I think AI is going through the same vibe of 2017, when like everybody needs to run forward, do something, release white paper, and stuff like get tons of money from investors. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna. I have that type of vibes. It's not about that like everything is a bubble, but rather like the way how people are operating. But like I think that blockchain is a little bit more mature, and we're starting to understand. You need to run, but you also need to analyze, think deeply, and make sure that there are like proper moves that you are making, both tactically and strategically. So that's kind of my point of view here. The competition from the centralized entities who are moving into the blockchain is going to be fierce. It's going to be very, very hard because they have more resources. But our advantage is the deeper knowledge in the blockchain specifically, and we can use it and play it very, very, very well.
Yeah, I loved your take on that show. We're constantly building, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly breaking things also in finance, right? And this probably will give us every day a great opportunity to learn faster, and put things on the market faster. So I believe that so far we are actually putting on chain the majority of what we have already discovered or created in traditional finance, specifically on DeFi. I think we're going to build new primitives, a new structure, on chain that it was not possible before, just because of the composability of the chain.
Absolutely. The difference between the on-chain economy and the traditional finance becomes smaller and smaller, or narrower and narrower. Even this 19 billion liquidation shows how close we are to the traditional finance. Everything is looped, everything is leveraged and stuff like that. Like, I've got literally after this weekend, I got the vibes of 2007 with this major crisis, because like we are getting closer there. COVID didn't hit as hard, FTX didn't hit as hard as just Trump saying that again, I'm gonna have 100% tariffs on China. Like how this can like. It was already done before earlier this year. Why? Right? Like we are getting closer and closer to traditional finance, definitely.
It's like India banning cryptocurrency. They've done it like 25 times. The 26th.
Yeah, or China, right? So every year they're banning crypto.
Every year there is a ban. That's great. Okay, going to the. So we've been discussing a little bit how. These agents, they can operate on chain, they can operate off chain. Clearly, we see, at least I do see a lot of super interesting use cases specifically for operating in the area of decentralized finance, right? Like you were saying before, kind of, an hedge fund, but now they're working completely on chain. I don't need to trust these humans. I would need to trust this smart contract and potentially this DE. But what are, in your opinion, the additional use cases apart from this one that would emerge in the next future?
Oh, I think that all of the there is a shot of trying to move any of the existing businesses into the autonomous setup. The easiest ones to do this are going to be either the ones that are pretty kind of like automatic at the moment, like the vending machine business.
Yeah.
But particularly for them, the hard part will be management of the humans. So it will become a little bit easier once we're going to have more robots out there. So yeah. But then we also have tons of businesses who are completely electronic at the moment, and they're existing in the virtual space. But they are run by humans at the moment, and the agents, it will be easier. This might be more complicated businesses, but it will be easier to move them in completely autonomous setup. Like I was already mentioning Etsy.
Yeah.
It is a full e-commerce platform. There is nothing physical to it. It will be pretty straightforward to move it into the autonomous AI agent. I'm pretty sure that we are going to see like an autonomous version of Etsy or AliExpress or Amazon for that sake, that is just going to figure it out and is going to do it much better than the existing platforms. Imagine a platform that you're describing what you want to do. It helps you to find the proper thing. It helps you to negotiate with the suppliers and to make the experience much more personal to you and much better overall, right? And this automation is just going to take care of the stuff. And it will be also much simpler also for everybody who are selling things there. That's pretty clear, right? So yeah, I'm looking towards these type of use cases, either simple, very straightforward businesses like vending machines, like physical businesses, to get converted into the autonomous agents first, as well as fully kind of electronic type of businesses like e-commerce and others. Yeah.
All the micro SaaS are an incredible good candidate, right?
For example, yeah.
Because often they are operated by, 1, 2 people. And usually what do? They do mostly customer service and marketing. So if you can consider customer service marketing, that basically you're good to go almost, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And what would you like to see, build in the next future with all the technology coming from Near and Aurora? Well, do you see anything that is particularly interesting for the builders today?
Yeah, so I want to see people who are just going to build these autonomous businesses. They will try to do this. We have all of the infrastructure available for this. We have the with this future release from Near, there will be a literally cloud, agent cloud, where people are able to deploy their agents so that they are working with the redundancy, with this recovery and all of the stuff, right? So this one thing. Second thing is that we have these businesses, they're going to earn money. So it's either a person himself who is funding it and putting money in and then runs and gets the profits, or alternative version would be to actually, if the business needs to get more capex, then these businesses able to launch its own token, and then if the token needs to be launched, then we have Calyx, a launchpad platform, the cross-chain launchpad. So this is again a piece that is out there. Intents and the distribution of Near intents, which is which is integrated almost everywhere, is going to ensure that the accessibility of this token is extremely high. So it's just a pretty straightforward thing. So I would encourage people, again, not to build infrastructure. I don't think that we need to have more infrastructure at the moment. Private version of an A10 with the cloud, with the Agentic cloud, with the intents and with Calyx is enough. Is quite a lot of the infrastructure that is going to power many different use cases. You go there, build, experiment, build some of your crazy, interesting ideas around different products. launch this, and I'm pretty sure that in just maybe in a couple of iterations you're going to find your sweet spot with great products out there that are working seamlessly for Web 2 and Web 3 users altogether.
Okay, that's very inspiring. So it can be both, right? It can be more traditional business going on chain and potentially also launching their token, or more, of course, agent running on our Web3 rails more as usual somehow. Okay, and if you need to look into it now, the crazy prediction, I know you have a crystal ball, Alex. So in the next 10 years, so what is going to happen, right? So what is going to be AI, the agents, the blockchain? So where are we going to be in terms of world if we put all these things together that we've been discussing about?
Yeah. So my 10 years in blockchain told me that I have not enough intelligence to do the prediction in blockchain for 10 years. Neither probably anyone, any of existing humans. But taking into account the speed of innovation that we see, definitely there are lots of innovation that is happening on the AI part, and more and more things are going to get automated. This is what, like, my prediction is that we're going to see lots of things automated, and lots of people who have been working on these things are going to get out of their jobs. And I hope that this is going to be positive, so that it's that they are going to become much more efficient. They will be able to oversee these autonomous agents who are doing these jobs, like, for example, driving cars, right? This is what we see already right now. And the overseeing is going to keep everything safe. However, the time of humans are going to be the humans are going to have much more spare time that they will be able to devote towards their passions and some more creative stuff. So in 10 years, I would say that there will be lots of major problems of the existing world that are resolved. Power access, advanced materials for constructing things that are not possible at the moment. The lots of healthcare problems, if not that we're going to fight the whole agent issue, but at least lots of healthcare problems are going to be out, and in general, kind of better life conditions for everybody on Earth. This is my positive prediction.
Yeah,
there is a chance that that everything is gonna go very in a very bad direction, with the unaligned AI, with bad actors having access to a very powerful AI, which would exterminate all of the humanity. I do believe that humans are smart enough in order to try to reduce the probability of this of this scenario, and I hope that this is going to happen. At least I'm doing contributions towards making sure that there is an alignment and there is proper controls over the access of the AI or / limitations of what AI is able to do. So yeah, that's an important thing also to take care of. But there are lots of innovations in the world that were happening that were very frightening, and somehow people figured out how to deal with it. And I have high hopes that this time humans are also going to figure it out.
I completely agree with you. I'm very aligned. I'd say we're going to be fine, and probably we need to believe in a much better future, because if we really look back, this is probably the best moment for the humanity. We need to be kind of positive in general, right? There are a lot of bad things, but if we look at the medieval age, that's sugar, actually. Everything is sugar somehow. And if we don't kill each other and we don't manage to exterminate ourselves and our species, we'll probably be able to continue to grow, ideally.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, as you know, the majority of our audience are founders that are building stuff. And you have been a founder and a builder for quite some time. So what's your main learning that you want to share with younger founders, people a little bit or much less experienced than you?
Okay, so here is a piece of advice that I would love somebody would give to me. If you as a founder thinking that you can hire a person who's going to take care of some particular thing for you and you're not going to think about it, then that's probably a mistake. You need to be a salesman, a marketer, an HR, and an ops person. Everything in together. You need to go through this, understand it, because otherwise you would not understand what you're searching for when you're trying to fill in the particular position. And it is still yourself who would need to, assess it and assess whether you're efficiently spending your budget, right? So that's an important thing. There are three key. So please make sure that you're understanding what it is, you're trying it. If you are not selling, that no sales on earth is going to sell your product. That's one thing. And second thing, always keep in mind that there are, for you as a founder and the leader, there are three things that you need to take care of, and these are your primarily tasks. Everything else you can put aside and delegate it to somebody, but these three things are impossible to delegate. First one is vision, and that's pretty straightforward. You need to understand that you need to give to everybody the direction where to go. Second one is money. You freaking need to have money in order to pay to your people, because the work that is not paying money, it's not the work that is going to survive for a very long time. And the third one that is a very important responsibility. You need to fill in the key positions properly. This is your personal responsibility, like your C-level management or whatever is the key management, are the people who are your right and left hands towards moving forward the organization. You need to be very close with these people. You need to understand how they are living, how they are operating, what they are thinking of, in order to make sure that there is a proper alignment. And then you need to fill in these positions. Most probably recruiting agencies will not be doing a very good job there. It takes time to have good people, and you're going to make mistakes. Do not be afraid of admitting these mistakes, firing people that you are not comfortable in working with, and trying to find the other one. So yeah, these three things are your main responsibilities. Everything else you can delegate, and keep it in mind. If you are not devoting your time to these three things, then probably you're going to fail.
I love this take from you, because it was very operational. It was really, learning from the trenches, guys. So number one, you can't delegate it if you don't understand it. I love that one, right? So you can't do that. And then three most important things: vision, money. If you don't pay the salary, it's not going to work. And number three, fill the key position. Try to understand the people are working with. If you make mistakes, well, you're not going to be alone. Try to keep going and find the right people. Right? Did I kind of summarize it correctly?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fantastic. Okay, Alex, let's try to wrap it up. It was a very, very fantastic conversation with you. It's always a fantastic conversation with you. I think we had quite some time. I think it was 2022 in Bogota, the first time that we had quite an incredible conversation. And it's always a pleasure every time we meet, every time we have a chat. So how people that want to get in touch with you or get in touch with Aurora or Near can interact?
Yeah, so if you want to get more of the content that is generated by myself, you can go to, by any of these these people and organizations. You should find them in Twitter. I'm located at Alex Aurora Dev. Aurora is Near, and Near is at Near Protocol. There are quite a lot of content that is generated with different directions there. This is how you can get a little bit more from us.
Fantastic. We will put all these link in the comments or in the video, or we're going to distribute this as you know, this content in very different way, but we'll make sure this link will be there so it's easy for everyone to click and check. And one more time, Alex, very, very grateful to have you here. It has been a fantastic conversation, and we'll meet again. You know, in the next future, we'll check how this agentic economy and AI is changing the world for the good or the bad.
Yeah, my pleasure, as always, too. Stay safe, everybody. Make sure that you are not making unresponsible financial decisions and you're not getting liquidated. And 19 billion of your money is not getting liquidated. Stay safe and keep your eyes open. There are lots of changes that is happening in the world at the moment. And the most important thing, this is a very, very hard time for everybody. But you will know what to do if you're going to keep your eyes open.
Absolutely, because there might be tariff also tomorrow, my friend. So watch out on your ultra long. So you never know about that.
Absolutely.
Have a great day. Then thanks to everyone for listening. Thanks, Alex, one more time. And I wish you a beautiful beginning of this new week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.